Good morning. I'm Sarah of Live Your Truth Yoga, and I want to talk just a little bit about a yogic term or a Sanskrit term that's known as Maya. And maybe you've heard of this, maybe you haven't. But what Maya means is disillusion, separateness. It's the effect of our ego, and we do need our ego to survive, because without our ego we would just be willy-nilly and be doing things that put us in a lot of risk. And so we need this ego. So when people talk about ego death, I'm at least at this point, I'm not fully on board with that, because we do need the ego on board to survive. But what can be really helpful is recognizing when the ego is steering the ship, rather than your truth or your heart-centered or your soul-centered self, your highest self. And so I'm really drawn to this notion because this Maya, or this veil of illusion, is very prominent in our modern society, because it's the way that we live and the way that our society is set up. It's the notion that because our reality is created through this illusion of our bias, and we all have our own bias based on our experiences, our cultural upbringing, our training, our indoctrination, all the different things that influence the way that you take in information. For an example, if you were to look at something right in front of you, let's just say, for example's sake, it's an apple. Okay, I see an apple, she sees an apple, he sees an apple, but maybe he has a past memory of somebody throwing apples at him when he was a little boy, or maybe she has an allergy to apples. So this apple is going to elicit some sort of bias or some sort of response, and we all have this individual unique lens, veil, or Maya, which creates the way in which we interpret things. And so everything is tainted by this veil of our own lens. So how do we get away from this? In modern society, we're not monks living up in the woods or in a temple with everything delivered to us that we need to survive, and we just sit there and meditate all day. We're human beings that have responsibilities, that need to go to work, that have others that depend on us. So how do we get away from this? Because we are humans existing in this very modern world that is very much disconnected, for the most part, from our spirituality, from our higher consciousness, from nature itself and our true nature, it's very dedicated to that separateness, the climbing, the striving, the get ahead, the competition in everything that we do. So most of us, hard fact, most of us will likely never be able to truly get away from this. But what we can do is make these little shifts, these little 1-degree shifts. We will never fully escape Maya, because this is part of our human condition. But we can shift our personal lens just a little bit, simply by becoming aware that you have bias, and it's nothing bad. It's a reality. So by looking at it as something that just is, and without having to say this is good or bad, just recognizing it for the fact that it is a feat in itself, and is progress in the right direction. The secret isn't magic or glamorous. It's just becoming more aware, more self-aware, and it's actually quite simple, by just slowing down and asking yourself and recognizing when you are encountering this strong bias, or maybe more subtle bias, but just noticing and saying, well, maybe there's more than one way. Maybe I'm looking at this from a slightly jaded sense, or with these rose-colored glasses, or with these dark-colored glasses, whatever it may be. But just becoming aware that everything that you interpret is unique to you. We all see very similar things in this world, but the way in which we interpret it is unique and different for every single one of us. So by acknowledging this, then we can start our path to having more compassion, more empathy, and more understanding, and acknowledging the fact that many truths exist at once. So that's my little 2 cents today on the lesson of Maya. And this is, again, a Sanskrit word meaning disillusion, or the veil through which we see things that's based on our bias or our ego. Have a good day. If you like this and you want to learn more about this, shoot me a DM or message me. I'm always looking for more topics that I can do a workshop on if it's of interest. So I hope you enjoyed and have a wonderful day.